Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Natalie, and I'll be the host for the webinar on optimizing your Oracle ecosystem. With me today is our resident Eloquer and CX expert, Sean Seelerchin. Sean has worked with great organizations like Oracle and Microsoft and brings tons of invaluable experience to the table. Then we also have our first speaker and CX strategy director for Oracle EMEA, Samuel van Deth. Sam has over 20 years of marketing and customer data experience and has had the same opportunity to work on data-driven strategies for awesome brands like Nike, Samsung, Uber, and eBay. We will be having a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So any questions you have, please drop them in the chat. Anyway, let's get ready to improve CX strategy and optimize your Oracle ecosystem. I'm going to hand it over to Sam soon, who will be showing us how to leave the ordinary behind. Over to you, Sam.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you. Thank you for having me today, and thank you all for your time. So, my part of today's session will be to talk about connected CX in a unified enterprise. And for that, I want to ask you to think differently about CX. So leave behind the notion of CX as being the summary of what marketing, service, and sales, or the front office, does. Now let's start by defining CX as the totality of all the interactions a customer has with your brand, be that on a business side, or consumer side, or citizen side, or even employee. What I hope to show you in the next 10 minutes or so is the benefits of this approach, the real world results that some of our customers are already having with that, and why you should take this mindset back into your own organization. So hoping to start the slideshow now. Is that working?
Yeah, you should be able to click through it.
All right. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so let's start with some context, right? So the future of CX is really driven by two key factors here. First, there's the customer side. And customers, they want choice, right? They want choice on which kind of channels they choose to interact with you. Be that online, be that offline, be that on social media, be that anywhere. But also how they want to buy your product or perhaps subscribe to your product, two different financial models. And they want to have that all frictionless, meaning, it needs to be personalized. You need to show that you understand them. It needs to be easy. But also they expect you to protect their privacy, to make sure that their data is secure with you. Then on the company side, companies want to communicate in one voice, be that because it's cost efficient, be that because it's more effective to do so. But to do that, you actually need to have a better understanding of the customer. You need to have that data collected. But with all the changes going around in today's world, companies also need to be agile. They need to be able to give data and freedom to smaller parts of the organizations to act more quickly to what's happening. But all of that with a proper risk mitigation, with controlled costs, which is also a very important topic in today's world. So there's a lot of duality in that, as you can already taste. So how does a unified enterprise help there, and how does it help to improve CX? So this analysis by IDC shows the erosion of the customer experience across the customer journey. While most organizations are pretty good at delivering a connected experience at the beginning of the customer journey, where marketing plays a big role, you see that there's a big erosion over the customer journey itself. When it comes to later into the customer journey process, where things like past purchase data, or making sure that the invoicing and the ordering process is actually felt as a single process by a customer. That's where there's a lot of opportunity to actually improve this connected experience. That's where there is actually still a big opportunity in CX. So how to actually achieve this unified enterprise to improve CX? Clearly, this is not simple. But the development of technology is actually helping us there. In the upcoming book, The New Automation Mindset, by the former Chief Strategy Officer for Oracle Fusion, together with Scott Brinker, famous marketing technologist, they describe how AI is impacting the future of automation. This figure shows that the democratization of technology was already happening through software as a service, SaaS, through low-code tools as Oracle Apex, for example, now into the large language models with prompt-based AI, make it more easier to also for non-marketing technologists to use technology. So this is the democratization of technology, if you will. But this only works if at the enterprise level, there's an enterprise-grade backbone that ensures alignment between those different stakeholders, that compliancy is being checked, that security is still maintained. So the duality here is that you need both. You need that agility, decentralized data, and democratized tech bottom up, but you also need enterprise-grade connections top down. And that's where we've already seen that amongst our CX customers that use multiple parts of our CX stack that are key benefits to gain, right? Like substantial cost reduction, like better connected planning, like using data-driven analytics to manage risks, to better align and create more agility and resilience across the organization. So these are some real life benefits that our customers are seeing today. But there's more. If companies extend that democratization of CX beyond their CX teams, some core facts are that 80% of organizations say they suffer from the disconnect that impact the customer. This is a big opportunity. 35% of the supply chain leaders say that CX is their biggest pain point. So there's budget with your supply chain leaders. The top 7 disconnected CX issues actually have to do with pricing and order data that usually sits outside of CX. And on the positive side, HR leaders see that they see a 58% higher hiring response rate due to improved marketing share of voice. And there's also clear scientific evidence that links marketing share of voice to better price inelasticity. This is a nice message to bring to your CFO if you want to get some budget from him in times of inflation. So in short, the CX budget might be a lot bigger if it takes into account some of the key objectives outside of CX as well. So to get there, you need to start with one view of the customer, but it needs to be a real one view. Not just a one view for marketing, not just a one view for CX, not just a one view for the front office, but a real decentralized view for everyone that's touching the customer. So to do that effectively and cost efficiently, you probably want to lower the amount of tech and make sure that things like infrastructure, security, product customization, AI, APIs is part of that stack. So to end my story here, let me give you 2 examples of companies who are in a good way on this topic. So first is Veritas. It's a large, complex business who provides data management services to 86% of the Fortune 500. They have united across CX on Oracle and they reached a 60% year-on-year reduction in tech. Next is Aon, another large, complex business, a global commercial insurance firm serving over 50,000 client businesses in 120 countries. They streamlined their global sales and marketing to an omni-channel selling with a unified solution giving complete visibility across all the departments. This led to a 50% saving in their CX tech spend, which, to remind you, is among 120 countries, so that's a pretty substantial number. So to summarize, 4 companies that want to look at today's challenges, but also have that view on tomorrow's direction. You need to start looking at CX as a domain that's just not only involving marketing, sales, and service. You need to move CX from controlling the buyer journey to the full customer experience across any touch point. And this does not entail setting up large centralized systems, but you need a backbone that simplifies the core, offers more decentralized control and agility to the teams touching the customer. A large shout out here to recent Forrester Consulting research, where they've conducted the research on the total economic impact of having a CDP that actually operates across the company. They interviewed 4 companies that are running Oracle Unity today, and they derived to a conclusion that spans to benefits in the multi-millions over a 3-year lifespan and a substantial ROI. So if you're interested, you can get a copy of this on the website or just ping me if you want to get your hands on it. So that's all that I wanted to share today. So I'm handing over to Sean now, our great partner at Engagement Factory, on their experience actually running with their customers on Oracle CX products. Over to you, Sean.
Good afternoon or morning, wherever you are. Pleasure to be speaking to you today. So, Sam, thanks for that. That was really interesting and informative. Really what I want to talk about is just a little bit more exploring the topics and themes about modern customer experience and how to take the ordinary into the extraordinary, and what you can be doing, how customer perceptions have changed, and how we've helped one of our customers in succeeding with their CX efforts. So I thought this was an interesting one to start with, that organizations are irritating and not helping. So 96% of customers say they receive mistargeted messages or promotions. Now, with the number of different touch points and data points you have in the world these days, this really shouldn't happen. There's a lot of preaching about modern marketing, but organizations aren't necessarily executing on it properly. There was a Forrester report way back from 2016 that said 72% of organizations are targeting CX as their main point of improvement, but how many are truly doing it? Thinking about modern marketing, how you're executing it. Is it a case of taking it back to basics? How can you heighten the scale and personal touch points that you're working with within your marketing teams and integrating to other touch points within your organization? Not just marketing, but sales, service, web, etc. So thinking about that and leaving the ordinary behind, the title of this webinar, and what do we mean by this? So it is that desire to create these extraordinary customer experiences. It's moving away from the mundane and predictable experiences and looking at ways to explore and engage with products and services that go beyond the norm of what you're doing and offer something unique, memorable, and extraordinary. Thinking about it, how do you seek out your customers and use innovation to personalize and create these remarkable experiences, and emphasize the importance of surpassing ordinary standards and pushing the boundaries to your customers so you can provide exceptional value, quality, and satisfaction. So looking at the different marketing channels that you have, such as advertising, social media, brand, how can you communicate your ideas and promote your brand and company So it's committed to exceeding those customer expectations. So thinking about this and what is a modern approach to customer experience? I mean, in today's day and age, it is essential. It's not a nice to have, it's something that you need to be doing. It's understanding and recognizing what your customers need. And it's there to build those long-term relationships that you want to engage with your customers, how you can utilize technology and data to ensure that you are delivering the correct messages. So thinking about our 96% on the opening slide I had, who are being mistargeted through messaging. And it's how you adapt to your customers and becoming agile. Sam mentioned that a few times. Agility and proactivity are key things in ensuring that you create this extraordinary customer experience. There's a lot of change in the technology landscape. There's many disruptors that have come into the marketplace. So you need to make sure that you're ready to adapt to these changes and ensure that you're keeping up to create those extraordinary CXs. So one of the challenges that people face as an organization, and this is from an ABM webinar we did a while ago, in terms of marketing automation projects, they fail or deliver subpar results. So think about that. Why are they failing? Why are they delivering these subpar results? A modern approach is being used. Are you delivering the results that your customers are expecting and creating those experiences that they require? So how can you then ensure that this is happening? So what are the key factors to a modern approach in customer experience? So there's 7 that I've highlighted through the course of my interactions with customers and working with technology partners like Oracle. The first one is exceeding those customer expectations. So expectations are higher than they've ever been. Customers are expecting personalized experiences, instant responses, seamless interactions across all of your channels, and proactive engagement. They're seeking a competitive edge and a competitive advantage. So exceptional customer experience has become a key differentiator in this highly competitive landscape that we're in now. There's numerous options available to customers, and companies that prioritize and excel in delivering these superior customer experiences will gain a significant competitive edge. Modern approaches allow customers and businesses to differentiate themselves by creating memorable and positive interactions. Omni-channel engagement, and this is a no-brainer. Today, your customers will interact with you across multiple channels: web, mobile apps, social, even physical stores, offline channels. Therefore, a modern approach to CX ensures a consistent and seamless experience across the different touch points that your customers engage with. This will enable you as a business to engage your customers better at various touch points and improve convenience and therefore customer satisfaction. Retention and loyalty. I think it's one that over the years I've seen maybe doesn't get enough focus, but is critical to extraordinary customer experience. You want to foster that loyalty to ensure you retain customers. They become repeat customers. They become essentially advocates for your brands. When customers have an excellent experience, they will remain loyal to a brand. They'll become repeat purchasers, and they will become brand advocates, whether that's word of mouth, whether that's through social channels, whether that's through interactions with other brands and explaining how it's worked. Ensuring that you're implementing these modern strategies will enhance your customer loyalty and reduce the churn in your customer base. Insights. So at the heart of any business, your data is crucial to your customer experience. So leveraging advanced analytics, data-driven insights, and understanding your customer behavior and preferences is critical. Gathering and analyzing this data, you can gain valuable insights and make sure that you're tailoring your messages, your experience, and products and services, and the marketing strategies are actually meeting the needs of your customers. Proactive customer support. So I think traditionally customer support has always been reactive, but in the modern world, there's a shift to proactive customer support. We've touched a little bit on AI. We've got the use of chatbots across websites now. Through the use of these two examples of new technologies and disruptors in the marketplace, companies can anticipate your customer needs. You can provide timely assistance, potentially address issues before they've even arisen. This will only enhance the overall customer experience and demonstrates a commitment to your customer success. And then continuous improvement. So putting strategies in place 18 months ago may not work now. So it's using that feedback loop and iterative processes to ensure that you're continuously improving and providing that seamless experience. Seek out customer feedback and analyze their satisfaction levels, right? Identify areas for improvement and implement changes accordingly. This iterative approach, an agile approach, allows you to adapt quickly to evolving customer preferences and helps you stay ahead of your competition. Have customer expectations changed? So much in line with the key factors that we were looking at just now. Customers expect instant gratification now. They expect immediate access to products and services and information. With the rise of different digital platforms, AI, chatbots, customers are anticipating a fast and seamless experience. That includes quick response times, instant downloads, expedited shipping. Personalization we've touched on, but again, this is to me a no-brainer. Personalized experiences tailored to preferences and needs, right? It's anticipating that businesses will leverage the data that you hold and that you're using it competently and correctly, and you're delivering those customized recommendations, targeted marketing message, and individualized support, as we were mentioning before. The Amazon's a great example of this, where they do really laser focus in on delivering that tailored experience. Omnichannel presence we touched on in the previous slide, so I won't dwell on that too much. But thinking about all the different touch points and ensuring that you're keeping a consistent message and branding across the different channels. So it's not just, I have a piece of content, I'm going to make sure this works across different channels. It's actually creating that seamless experience, both online and offline. 24/7 support and accessibility. The internet's made us an always-on generation, and customers are expecting around-the-clock support. So maybe more in the B2C world, the 24/7, but in the B2B world, we're certainly looking at, that sort of 12/5 support to ensure that products and services can be relied upon, and where they can't be, there's a multitude of options for customers to be able to support. So that's self-service options, online FAQs, customer portals to enable finding information, and being able to resolve issues at any time that's convenient to them. Transparency and trustworthiness. So again, companies and brands need to ensure that they're transparent, and customers now expect you to be open, honest about what you're doing. Customers are seeking detailed product information, reviews, and ratings to make informed decisions. It's not just about what the salesperson is talking to them about. It's also about clear communication, ensuring pricing, policies, and critically data privacy is all clear and simple for people to understand. Proactive and personalized customer support, we touched on before, and again, continuous innovation. So I won't dwell again too much on these. And the continuous innovation, what I would say is customers are expecting you to stay at the forefront of technological advancements. So that doesn't mean bringing in the latest tech all the time, but it's ensuring you're getting the most out of your stack to provide those innovative and agile solutions. They appreciate companies that embrace new technologies and enhance products and services that add to the overall customer experience. Being able to adapt to your customer needs. So again, without wanting to repeat too much, ensure that you keep your competitive advantage. Stay ahead of emerging trends and look at technologies that will give you that competitive advantage. Customer expectations, as explained on the last slide, expectations are now higher than ever. So ensure that you're continuously evolving to meet those needs. Technology disruption. We've seen the unprecedented pace at which technology is changing. We've had the disruptive technologies in the last few years, such as AI, blockchain, and the IoT have really reshaped how businesses model, and they're revolutionizing how to operate your business. Businesses that fail to adapt risk becoming obsolete or left behind. And the last point on here, market dynamics. Markets are dynamic and subject to constant change, we know this. New players come in and out, shifting regulations, economic fluctuations, and emerging trends can all impact the way that you do business with your customers and change the business landscape. To ensure you remain relevant, business must stay agile and adapt their strategies accordingly. Monitoring market trends and making timely adjustments, companies can seize new opportunities. You can mitigate risk and you can navigate market dynamics effectively. So, how can we help you do that? So at EF, we strive with our customers to get the best out of your, not just technology stack, your people and processes. We create co-value with you, and that's through the use of data, advanced analytics, AI. We've started using neuroscience, technology, process, and people to really create value and help you achieve those goals and making sure that your customer experiences are extraordinary. This next slide is just an example of how we can help with that journey to a 360 customer view to create those incredible customer experiences. So this is an example of where we'll take a hypothesis, and that's an assumption-based approach, and then we'll back it up with facts. So knowing what the preferred channels are for your CX, knowing what the content triggers and actions are, and then providing relevant personalized content and context across your different channels to ensure it's right time, right message, and ensure that it's connected to the right product usage. We'll use various testing tools, testing strategies, and optimize those interactions based on the hypothesis, and then backing it up with data to show if the theory is working. So I've talked quite a lot about theory, but what does it really look like in practice in an Oracle CX world? So I think this is a really good example of where we've helped companies and how Oracle can come in and help with your customer experiences. So the ones to highlight, I think, are the ones in the middle. So Unity, the CDP, which Sam talked about and had such a great rating from Forrester. I'm a big fan myself of customer data platforms, and these really do provide that true 360 customer view and have become a game changer. Through Unity, you're able to have all your different customer touch points into one place, and from Unity you can go out and provide real-time data, audience segments, campaign segments to your different touch points. So Eloqua for your marketing messages, Infinity to create lookalike audiences for your different ad networks for targeting, providing personalization back onto your website, getting Eloqua connected into Sales Cloud and passing that lead, account, opportunity information into Unity, and Service Cloud, which is being able to create this one-stop shop for all of your different touch points to ensure that you've got that single customer view to create the extraordinary customer experiences. So lastly, I just want to touch on some of the customers we work with and a particular case study for one of them. You can see we've worked across multiple customers, both B2C and B2B, and the case study that I'd like to discuss is a company that straddles both those worlds. So this is for a company called Nanowall, and it's the Nano Awards inspiration campaign. So Nanowall are a family-run business. They've been around for 35 years, operating in North America. They've had Eloqua in place for just over 10 years and have been working with us since 2020. They supply both consumers and businesses, working direct to consumer businesses such as retail outlets, restaurants, hospitalities, and also working with architects, building firms, that type of thing. So the Nano Awards themselves, they came to us wanting us to help create a marketing program that engages with the existing customer base, but creates those customer advocates, product evangelists, those brand advocates that we were talking about at the start. So talking to them and looking at how to celebrate and showcase and engage its existing customers and what they've been doing, we created the Nano Awards. So our proposal was, towards the end of every year, we have existing Nanowall customers share how their living spaces or retail spaces, buildings, homes, offices have been transformed by Nanowall. Via an extensive Eloqua flow, which looks something like this, we've used Nanowall's customer database and promoted them to share their Nanowall stories in their own words, using imagery, driving entries to the annual Nano Awards. So this is an example of the workflow, some examples of the content that was being produced across the different phases, and the actual campaign entries to the landing pages. Each successful Nano Awards entry is showcased on the nanowall.com website and creates a pipeline that inspires future Nanowall customers. This year we had over 12,000 registered voters, and it allowed us to engage with Nanowall prospects as well as customers. With over 3,000 votes, we drove record numbers to Nanowall's 3 Nano Award landing pages. Now, this was a collaborative effort amongst the different teams within Engagement Factory. So Natalie on the call helped with some brilliant designs for this. We used neuroscience to help create a data-driven approach to our program. We had integration with Salesforce and other data sources, and we created an omni-channel experience. We've actually done this for Oracle as well, so they can testify how these works. In terms of the results, we saw 50 new case studies created for the customer. As I said, it was almost 3,000 votes in year 1 for new voting criteria. Net new acquisition of 2,000 email addresses, open rates of 37.5% on emails with 8% unique open rates, and a forward rate influencing conversations, so creating those brand advocates. That's everything that I was going to talk to you about. Appreciate the time. Natalie, I'll hand it back to you.
Great. I think next thing to do, is the camera on, there it is to run through some questions that were submitted to us from attendees just beforehand. So guys, if you do have more questions, please just drop them in the chat. But in the meantime, we'll go through the pre-submissions if Sam and Sean, you guys want to jump in. So the first question is, what are some key strategies or best practices for leveraging the Oracle ecosystem to enhance customer experience?
Sam, do you want to take that first?
Sure, Sean. That's okay. Yeah. So, best practices. So, really, I think, you can start anywhere with Oracle, right? We have such a broad and extensive suite of applications that it is okay to start anywhere. Most people then think, well, you need to think, very big and, big projects, etc. But I don't really think that's true, right? You can also start small. But I would add, right, it is important to start with the end in mind as well. Because, yes, you can start with a point product, optimize a part of the CX journey with Oracle. But obviously, right, things come together if you start to connect pieces. That's where, a lot of benefits of, a part of your stack being a suite come into place. So, starting small, just start something, build trust, build, good results, but start with the end in mind, right? That you actually want to achieve, the benefits of working with a provider that can help you across several parts of the business. And, I think that it's also important to have, a partner there, of course, who knows and understands that ecosystem, because it can be overwhelming as well.
Yeah, I would echo those points. Knowing what your end results and what your goals are the critical things here, rather than taking the shiny new toy out of the box and playing with it. So understanding what those goals are and building programs that help to achieve those goals and breaking them down into timelines. We talked about the need to be agile, and I think that's a key element here. And also, I appreciate the trusted partner. Using a partner with experience of these tools, understands the problems that you potentially face, whether that's through potential issues with the people that you have not having enough bandwidth, the processes that don't necessarily support this new implementation. Using a partner who can guide you through that, I think, is a key element to enhancing that customer experience with the Oracle ecosystem.
Brilliant. All right, next question. What are the potential challenges or roadblocks that companies commonly face when optimizing the Oracle ecosystem for CX, and how can they be overcome?
I'll take that one if you like, Sam.
Yeah, Sean, go ahead.
So I think it touches on the first point that Sam made, which is knowing what those end goals are and not planning properly for those end goals. So it really comes down to planning, and using people with knowledge if you don't have it in-house. So, again, using a trusted partner that knows how to get the best out of the tech stack. I think one of the key things is that I've often seen is data. So, having dirty data and not having the correct sort of data hygiene rules in place. So when it comes time to optimizing their Oracle ecosystem and the tech stack, it's becomes very difficult because the different data touch points to create that single customer view don't line up, and you don't necessarily have the correct integrations in place. So I think that's one area that you can potentially avoid through the correct kind of data hygiene and processes in place.
Absolutely. I mean, garbage in, garbage out. So keep data clean as much as possible. Right.
Yeah, I would echo some of that as well, right? I think, so our products can do a lot, right? But what we see in general is that most elements of our products are actually not being used by our customers. And why is that, right? It's probably is because the processes are not in place, the people are not there, right? Or the people are not educated enough to actually use it, or they lack the data to actively use it, right? So thinking about processes, data, people, right? These are key things that need to be done to actually achieve key benefits of the products as well. And usually those elements are where the biggest challenges and roadblocks sit in the projects.
Definitely. Okay, last question, and I'm not sure who wants to take this one, but how can companies measure the impact of their efforts to optimize the Oracle ecosystem on customer experience? And are there any KPIs or metrics that are commonly used?
Yeah, if I can, sort of take the first take on that, right? So, so the Forrester research that I mentioned, right? So they sort of looked at the ROI of the investment, with Oracle, which I think is a good thing to do, right? You want to understand, if I put X dollar there or X euros, what do I actually get back, right? So what have other customers actually seen there? So I think that is a good approach, but that is just the financial impact of the technology, right? So I think the broader question, of course, is how do you improve your CX, right? And which metrics do you want to look at? And that's where I want to return to my key message of my 10 minutes there, is that I think we need to look more beyond what CX is actually doing, right? Which is not just improving marketing or improving sales. It's really improving key KPIs of the whole company, right? Which involve things like revenue, growth, cost efficiency, but as well, even price inelasticity, right? Which again, is sort of a key thing for CFOs. And I believe that a lot of CX projects can get a lot of more budget out of it if we actually talk about the benefits to stakeholders outside of our own domains, because they would be very interested to know how can CX actually help them achieve their goals, right? So I think having that more holistic look on how can CX deliver also goals to leaders outside of the CX domain is an important inventarization to do if you start working on a CX project.
Yeah, I think that's great stuff. I think that there's a couple other things that I may add to that as well, and it's in terms of sort of KPIs is user adoption and advocacy of the stack within your organization. It's almost like an internal CSAT and NPS score to see how these have kind of improved the processes and helped with those financials that Sam was talking about there. And then you've got the obvious ones like ROI and contribution to revenue. Are you seeing increases in that? Time to convert prospects to customers and get repeat business. I think the sort of key measures to see how that CX stack is working for you.
No, definitely. I don't think we have any more questions from the chat. So, and I think because it has just hit past, so running on clockwork. So I think let's end it there. Thank you guys so much for the fantastic insights. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, Sam, as our guest speaker. Sean, as always, just wonderful content. And then to our lovely audience, thank you once again for attending. And if you would like to find out more on CX strategy or the Oracle ecosystem, please reach out to Sam or Sean. I can guarantee you either of them would be more than happy to have a chat. So yeah, we will also be sending out the webinar recording quite shortly. So keep an eye out on your inbox and hope to see you at the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.